Catelyn Stark and Littlefinger have been very busy since the last time they saw each other in the beginning of the first book. And that's the last time they saw each other because Littlefinger didn't meet up with Cat ever again after she left King's Landing. This scene from Game of Thrones isn't from the source material. Littlefinger never tried to hit on Cat to the point where she threatened his life. He was busy being a Lannister messenger boy traveling to the Reach to gain Tyrell's support. As much as Peter Baelish has Cat on the mind, being obsessively in love since childhood, Cat had other, bigger priorities, her children's lives mainly. With her resurrected from the dead in the books, going by Lady Stoneheart, she still isn't thinking about poor little Petey. It's not common knowledge that Peter betrayed Ned Stark, getting him arrested and eventually beheaded. Not like Cat has a spy network around the realm, giving her all the details like her enemies did. For now, Littlefinger is safe from Lady Stoneheart's vengeful manhunt. She's hyper-focused on her targets, the ones responsible for the Red Wedding, House Bolton, Frey, and Lannister. That's what being resurrected the Lord of Light does to you. You return focused and less like your old self. Cat spent her whole life trying to be a noble lady that was expected of her. That's all out the window now. Only hate remains after everything that was done to her family. The Brotherhood without banners, led by Beric Dondarrion, found her after the Freys dumped her corpse in a river, and she still looks like a corpse. Her hair is white and half fallen out. Unhealed wounds under her eyes when she peeled her own skin off after witnessing Robb's death. And then there's her throat, a large gash across her whole neck, from ear to ear, the slash from Ryman Frey that ended her first life. Brienne almost didn't recognize her in the books, claiming she lost all her strong facial features that made her so beautiful. Cat was quick to turn on Brienne, suspecting she works for the Lannisters now, given that she carries around Jaime's sword, even almost hanged her. Cat gave Brienne a choice, last we saw of the Brotherhood without banners, who now follow her commands. Kill Jaime Lannister or die. A big cliffhanger for the next book, because she found Jaime and asks him to help her find Sansa, a lie. And in the upcoming book, The Winds of Winter, Zombie Cat being so close to the Vale may come in contact with Littlefinger. All of the common folk in the Riverlands aid and protect the Brotherhood. They're the outlaws' main source of information. They know where to find some Freys, so Lady Stoneheart can hang them. But not much outside this kingdom. Littlefinger is everyone's liege lord in the Riverlands now, but didn't even step foot in his new home, Harrenhal, that was gifted to him by the Lannisters. This may raise some eyebrows for the Brotherhood, but still no mention of him in the 2 chapters we get with Lady Stoneheart. The Brotherhood have kept her identity hidden well. Most characters don't even know that Beric Dondarrion sacrificed all his life left in him to resurrect Cat. The Brotherhood likes to pretend Beric's still leading them because he became quite a legend in the Riverlands. He was their lightning lord. The only thing Littlefinger's spy network would know is about outlaws led by a woman have become crazy and brave enough to start hanging any Frey even close to their castle. They've been asking around for Sansa and Arya. All the Brotherhood knows is that Sansa has vanished from King's Landing and Arya was last seen with the Hound. Brienne tells them that the Hound is dead, and she also knows that a fake Arya has married Ramsay Snow. You won't find her in Winterfell. That's just Sansa's old best friend Jane Poole, prepared by Littlefinger in one of his brothels, trained for making Ramsay a happy lord. Littlefinger is involved in that girl's torture, something Cat won't appreciate. But Peter couldn't care less about some outlaws in the Riverlands. He believes he is in the safest kingdom in the realm, impenetrable castles with mountains for a natural defense. The Vale's army is intact, all through the 5 books. Lysa Tully made sure none of the Aaron's men got involved, and focused on protecting her son and lands. That's why Cat and Lysa's uncle, Brendan Tully, the Blackfish, left the Vale. He spent years in this kingdom, in the high position of Captain of the Bloody Gate. He leaves to help his family with the Lannister situation, disgusted by Lysa's inaction. Brendan may be on his way back now, after the Tullys fall to the Lannisters. The Blackfish is entering outlaw territory. The Lannisters have failed to capture him, and never will. He's an expert scout and soldier, living most of his life in the Riverlands. He may run into the Brotherhood without banners on his way back to the Vale, or looking to join the Brotherhood. The Blackfish would make for the perfect bridge for the anticipated Lady Stoneheart Littlefinger encounter. When Peter believed Cat was murdered, none of its expected grief was shown in any chapter, but his unhealthy obsession with her has transferred straight to Sansa. There's one important aspect of Littlefinger's character not shown in Game of Thrones. He's certain Catelyn loved him back. In his head, they even slept together. He's not delusional, he just mistook Lysa for Catelyn when he was wasted. He really talks about this with Sansa as he makes her out as his bastard daughter named Elaine Stone. You were old enough to know that your mother and I were more than friends. It was a time when Cat was all I wanted in this world. I dared to dream of the life we might make and the children she would give me. But she was a daughter of Riverrun and Hoster Tully. Family duty, honor, Sansa. Family, duty, honor meant I could never have had her hand. But she gave me something finer, a gift a woman can only give but once. How could I turn my back upon her daughter? He later kisses her and murders Lysa, a weird way of taking care of Sansa. He doesn't need Lysa anymore now that she is named him Protector of the Vale, until Robin Arryn is old enough to rule. The other lords of the Vale are skeptical at the very least, some of them formerly being on good terms with the Starks and Tullys. Peter is getting his way for now, but Sansa knows everything. She knows how he planned the secret murder of Jon Arryn and set up the Starks to go to war with the Lannisters. She even personally witnessed the murder of her crazy Aunt Lysa. Catelyn was warned that Lysa has changed for the worse over the years, but hearing about what went down during this scene will make Cat's zombie face shocked. Sansa and Brendan's word will be the only Cat can trust in the Vale. Maybe Lord Royce too, a friend to the Starks, the second most powerful family in this kingdom behind the Arryns. Any three of these crimes that Peter committed would lead Lady Stoneheart to putting a noose around her childhood friend Peter, a boy she saw as her little brother. Only Sansa can save him. He can blame Jon Arryn's death solely on Lysa. She did want him out of the picture. The moment he mentioned having Robin Arryn sent to be fostered by Tywin Lannister far away from his mother, that drove her crazy. He already blamed Lysa's death on a random singer with no power to stand up against the mighty Littlefinger. And Sansa kept quiet. With the only one in the room not a suspect, her word is worth a lot, and she's pointing her finger at the singer. Peter is a better host than the Boltons in Winterfell or Cersei in King's Landing. She's also learning from him, turning into a little schemer herself. Lady Stoneheart won't save the Stark children. All she can manage is hanging a few Freys. Cat is not the people's hero that Beric was to the Riverlands. Sansa will see this. It's why some of the outlaws in the Brotherhood have left the group. Sansa's not the same girl who survived the third book. Soon enough she'll be manipulating Peter, because he will underestimate his little protege. Brendan Tully is more likely to join Cat's cause over Sansa. Sansa will have to throw the Blackfish off Peter's crimes trail too. She'll turn on him eventually because I think Sansa's story arc is about discovering her Stark side, made more difficult without a direwolf bond. There's a coming-of-age story buried in all that tragedy. Sansa will just be a different kind of Stark, not wild like Arya or ruled by duty like Jon Snow. She can be the brains of the operation. Lady Stoneheart and her band of outlaws entering the Vale with Brendan Tully's seal of approval won't be the mother-daughter reunion Catelyn is desperately looking forward to. She's too consumed by rage. Beric Dondarrion taught us that each resurrection chips away at your old self. Cat was dead for 3 days before he gave her his remaining life. Beric is usually immediately brought back to life by Thoros of Myr after dying, so Thoros thought it would be hopeless attempting to fire magic on her. And now, Cat stays on her mission night and day, no longer requiring food or sleep. The Red Priest Thoros has changed too. He's lost all purpose with Beric gone and Zombie Cat leading now. He doesn't like what the Brotherhood have become, and has lost all faith. Thoros hasn't seen any visions from his god in the flames since Cat's resurrection. He's aged years and a few months with the new management. He's the last voice of reason in their violent mission. Sansa's alias as Elaine Stone, changing her appearance by dyeing her hair black, won't work on Brendan Tully. He was there watching all the Tully kids grow up. Peter only loves Sansa because she is teenage Cat, features repeatedly referred to as Tully-like. And speaking of Tullys, Cat, Lysa, and Edmure's mother is rarely mentioned because she died when they were very young. Lord Hoster Tully was married to Lady Manissa Went. House Went ruled Harrenhal before Littlefinger, so very recently. They were stripped of their lands and titles in the books by the Lannisters. Sansa will have to go to overtime thinking of ways to save Littlefinger's life, and in turn keep her own self safe. As satisfying as seeing Lady Stoneheart kill Peter for betraying Ned would be, I don't think that's the direction the story's heading. Cat never learned the details of her husband's capture. It took up until the third book. Yeah, the fan favorite, A Storm of Swords. The book where Cat dies and is reborn to learn that Littlefinger is a little sketchy. Jaime Lannister had to be the one to open her eyes. Pretty funny how confused she was when she got the revelation that Peter purposely made her go after Tyrion about the whole dagger situation to create some chaos. Her inner thoughts were, Peter had sworn otherwise. Peter who had been almost a brother. Peter who had loved her so much, he fought a duel for her hand. And yet if Jaime and Tyrion told the same tale, what did that mean? The brothers had not seen each other since departing Winterfell more than a year ago. Are you trying to deceive me? Somewhere there was a trap. Catelyn isn't much brighter than dum-dum Cersei. Unlike Game of Thrones' mishandling of his finale and death, Peter will make it far into the books. He's not as obvious a villain that was on the show. In Jaime Lannister's last chapter in A Dance with Dragons, he still finds him trustworthy enough to think he's the best choice for Hand of the King for Tommen, over Kevan Lannister. Jaime watched Littlefinger happily bankrupt King Robert's reign and still thinks this. Jaime finds him lowborn enough to not threaten them. Lowborn, but ruler of the Riverlands and the Vale. Peter Baelish is an endgame boss, who I still hope becomes the king after Tommen. I think Brendan will smell something is off in the Vale and secretly bring in the Brotherhood without banners. That will give us the inevitable emotional face-off between Lady Stoneheart and Littlefinger, where he will argue for his life, and succeed thanks to Sansa. Cat killing off Roose Bolton is more appropriate. That way she can run into Jon Snow one final time. A reunion more impactful than seeing Cat with Arya, Bran, or Rickon one more time. Especially because Jon is right about to join her in zombiehood after his cliffhanger death in the last book. Cat may only see Sansa and Jon in her second life, but that stepson she hated for all those years may bring her some kind of relief. Most characters think that Bran and Rickon were killed off by Theon Greyjoy. When Sam Tarly ran into Bran under the wall, Bran made Sam promise never to tell anyone that he's alive and well. Sam kept that promise and didn't even tell Jon. But Jon's a warg in the books. In his wolf dreams, he's also connected to the other living direwolves, Nymeria, Summer, and Shaggy Dog. Jon senses them in his magical wolf dreams. He learns that 4 remain, but one he has trouble sensing. This information will let Cat die in peace, putting an end to her never-ending pursuit for vengeance. I just hope Jon returns a little less honorable like Cat. There isn't much time for all that with all the high-stakes wars going on and the White Walkers coming down. Jon had always been terrified of his stepmother. Zombie Jon shouldn't be, and this last conversation between the two will be very different than this one. Cat may be a little warmer to him, but this won't be her redemption arc after being the big mean stepmom for 14 years. Not that kind of story, guys. But Cat is one of the only characters to know that Robb named Jon Snow his heir. Telling him that would be enough for a good ending. Lady Stoneheart's purpose for the story is a little hard to see. It adds a very complex layer to all the storylines, and for sure is the reason Game of Thrones writers omitted her. I don't know where it'll end. She won't be the one to resurrect Jon with her fiery life force. That'll have to be another character, but somewhere down the line, Cat could resurrect someone else.